Hey guys, my name is Jonah Bowdle. I'm in Arizona, and today I'm going to be talking about housing ants. And we're going to be making a scape for a 5 or 7 gallon aquarium. That is going to be for what kind of ant?
Tetromorph immigrants.
That. And yeah, we're going to talk about kind of a general housing for ants, why we scape the tank. So yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna start scaping it. Actually, he's gonna be scaping it and talking about different ways you could house ants.
Yep, so when you house ants, basically you need two different things. One is a dark, moist place where the ants can nest and grow their brood and have their queen. It doesn't have to have dirt, but if you want to, you can have dirt. The other thing they need is what is called an outworld, and that is where the ants will kind of roam around, search for food, collect food, leave their garbage, and do things like get rid of their waste and stuff. So this is one of the many different ways to house ants. You can also buy special ant housing, or formicariums as they're called. This method, I'm both making their nest and their outworld both in the same tank. They're gonna be nesting in the soil here, so that's why we have quite a bit of soil for them to nest. And I'm also going to be scaping it right now.
And this is for, what's the common name?
Pavement ants. So they like to nest under roads,
in between rocks.
Yeah, large rocks or anything. That's why I'm putting this flat piece of rock here, so they can probably will nest in here. Over. Alright, so I have the stone in here. I'm gonna take this really cool piece of driftwood. It's really sculptural. Put it near the back of the tank because it's taller. Let's see, just kind of nestle it in the soil. I like how it's kind of like a tower and it's towards the back. Now I also have this piece of wood, this piece of wood, this piece of wood, and this piece of wood. I'm probably not going to use them all because when you house ants, like I said, they dispose of their garbage there. So you want enough space for your hands to say clean up their garbage or be able to feed them. So I'm probably going to have to choose between these really cool sticks.
You don't want to only make the tank perfect for the ants, but you want to be able to make it look nice as well.
Maybe I'll snap a bit off here, kind of put it in the soil. And we also have these really cool
decorative rocks.
Yeah, white rocks. I'm trying to think of different places to think, but so I think I might just make kind of like a path in the tank. So just take a couple of these.
Again, these are just to make it look cool.
Yeah. Them here.
And you're probably going to want to do more research on your specific type of ant.
Yeah, because
there's so many different kinds. It's not like we could house every single one of them.
In a tank this size, you have bigger ants. You have ants that, depending on species, they'll need varying levels of moisture. So you can search that up and also through trial and error find out how much moisture ants need. I know the species we're housing likes to nest under rocks, and besides that, likes a drier nest, while other genuses of ants prefer wetter nests.
We caught these ones native, and it's pretty dry here, so
yeah,
very little rain.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not really worried about the soil or anything. Actually, just got it out of the backyard.
Yeah.
So because they're native, so they should be used to the soil and everything. Let's see. Think almost done with the path. And after this, we'll show you a bit of footage. So after you more or less escape the tank, you're also gonna want to, if it's a tank with soil and things like that, you're gonna want to have some decomposers in here to break down the organic matter.
Microfauna.
Yeah, I have some worms. I think we're gonna put in some more decomposers in here. Also, plant life makes it look much greener, much prettier. Plus, it also helps keep the soil clean. for the
Yeah,
ants.
and keep the soil together with the roots.
Yep. So I think we're gonna show you a bit of footage of like planting some more native plants in here to finish up the scape. All right. So we've planted the plants and yeah, basically that watered them a bit. And so now I'm gonna talk about a little bit more on housing. In terms of lighting, ants really don't need any sort of lighting. They're insects, they don't need UVB A or B. They do, however, if you have plants, you probably need a light for them if you're keeping them indoors. You can keep them warm with like a heat lamp or something like that. Just make sure you create kind of like a gradient in temperature with that, so if they don't, if they find one part of the tank too hot, they can just move to the other side. And basically it with temperature, lighting, housing. Let's see, if you have ants from like certain part of the world, like North America, anywhere that experiences winter, over winter they will hibernate and basically go to sleep for a while, so you'd want to put the tank in somewhere cooler and not like somewhere warm in your house.
Do you have to do that?
Yeah, so there's really is no way to like prevent ants from going into hibernation. They have internal clocks which tell them when to go into hibernation. So around like winter, the queen stops producing brood and they all basically hibernate till spring when brood production starts again. So we in this video we'll do it in a future video, but we're not putting the ants in here yet because
they aren't ready.
Yeah, they aren't ready. They don't have enough numbers. If you've seen our first video on ants, on how to start an ant colony, you will know that you can move your ants into like a setup once you have 50 or more workers. Our ants, which we'll show you in a bit, don't have 50 or more workers, so we're still letting them grow numbers. The reason why we did this tank now is because if you do a naturalistic setup, like one with dirt and soil and plants and everything, you're gonna want the tank to kind of like the plants, the animals, all to like climatize and get the tank ready for a while before you put the ants in. So it's always a good idea to make the tank before you put the ants in. In terms, some people, you guys might be wondering how we're gonna keep the ants from escaping. There's many ways to do that. You can put like a lid over here with ventilation holes. The other way is to make a barrier in which the ants will slip off if they try to climb on it. There are many things you can make it out of, from things like, I've heard of people using like different kinds of oil, like petroleum jelly, as well as a mixture of baby powder and rubbing alcohol to kind of create like a whole bunch of little particles that will stick up to the top but then fall off when the ants try to climb on it. And also Fluon is another way of doing it. I think it's the best way of doing it, possibly, mainly because it's...
Does it not run out?
I think it's easier to use. It's also called insecticide. You can get it from different websites. It's the best way, I think, because it's the most slippery. But if you have like easy to keep species like a large species carpenter ant, I believe, you really don't need Fluon. It's if you have like really tiny ant species or ant species which are known to like escape a lot or try to escape, like fire ant ones, because they're pretty aggressive and they do tend to escape when you keep them. So yep, now we're going to show you the queen and the brood and how they're coming along. So this is one of our queens and our brood. As you can see right here, we're currently feeding them with peanut butter. It has both proteins and sugars, which are the two main things ants need, which we did cover in our last ant video, what to feed ants. We'll leave like a link or something at the end of the video to that video and the one about starting your ant colony. But as you can see, we do have quite a bit of workers. My guess is 20 around there. I actually haven't tried to count. There are a lot of them. As you can see right there, they do have a good amount of brood as well. And there's the queen. But yep, they're still growing. Not ready for their formicarium yet. But we'll get it in a future video because they're really close. If you can see the amount of brood and the amount of workers to getting to 50 workers, in which we'll be able to put them in the outworld. Well, thanks for watching the video, and I'll leave Jonah to the outro.
If you like this video, like it down below. If you have any comments or concerns, put it in the comments below. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, put it in the comments below. And if you want more content, then subscribe. Have a good day. See you in the next video.